mapenzi yetu ishazama. Yo, this is the African. Ona kule tumetoka, mbona sasa unasema umechoka? Hama ushampata Casanova, nikupatia lishe bora. Kwanza nakumbuka tukianza vile uliniahidi tutapendana forever. Sasa niweze kunaenda kitu sina, ni kama tena unijui jina, no. Haukujikinga, nasikia tena ushapewa mimba, na sio siri tena, sio siri, sio nikiweza. Sio siri, siri tena, sio siri, sio siri. Mwanzo tulikuwa kwa ghorofa, mapenzi yetu ikaporomoka, baadaye ukatoka nichoma, usikujua jua kali nyota, na ukweli sasa inaonekana, niliyempenda pia ameshadikana. Nilimpea kila kitu, nikampenda kila siku, sheri akageuka mdanganyifu, maswali zangu hawezi jibu, nikipi sina, kama tena haunijui tena, no. Haukujikinga, nasikia tena ushapewa mimba, sio siri tena, sio siri, sio nikiweza, sio siri tena, sio siri, siweza nikuweza, sio siri tena, sio siri, sio nikiweza, sio siri tena, sio siri, siweza nikuweza, hali niko sikutaki mabaya, haya yameshafanyika mama, umeshanizika mama, ndani ya shimo waliniwacha pabaya, haya yameshafanyika mama, mapenzi yetu ishazama. Sio siri ma, umeniumiza. Sio siri ma, umenimaliza. Sio siri ma, umeniumiza.
Yes.
African Diary. One
Yes, so welcome, beautiful people. How are you doing? Karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show with me, your host, Kate Ndongo, or rather Katie in the building. Karibuni sana to everybody who is just joining us and to the new audience. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel as you coming in. And asanteni sana to everybody who is just joining us and also for taking your time and deciding to join me on today's episode. And I'd love to know how your Wednesday is coming along. Mine is super awesome, and the weather today is it's a bit cloudy, but mostly it's cloudy, but we are at 24 degrees Celsius. So we thank we thank the universe. It has been so long since it rained, but for the past 3 days it has been raining, and we thank God for that. And we very appreciative about that. But anyway, karibuni sana. You can let me know also how is the weather on your side, because I bet we are all experiencing different weather conditions. So let me know how is the weather on your side. And 24 degrees Celsius is 75.2. Yes, 75.2. Yes, 75.2 degrees Fahrenheit. But you can let me know how is the weather on your side. And I bet as we continue with the day, maybe during the Rhythm Scoop show, it will start raining, because this is how now the weather is going to be for the rest of this week. But anyway, get to interact with me. Do let me know how your day is coming along, and also do let me know how are you feeling today. Me, I'm feeling super energetic. I'm grateful. My birthday is in the next 6 days, so I'm very excited. Yes, that's all I can say. But karibuni sana, we get to interact, and do let us know how your day is coming along. We shall talk. We shall take a short musical break. We started off the show with an amazing jam done by Watenda Willie called Sio Siri. But we shall come back with another different song, also done by Watenda Willie called Sio February 2. I hope we get to jam, and we get to jam together, and also get to enjoy the jam. And okay, it's actually refusing to play. But anyway, let me look for it as we continue with our show for today, and also as we continue enjoying the show with you all. Okay, let's just jump to this one again, and then we will be back with our motivational quotes of the day.
Ona kule tumetoka, mbona sasa unasema umechoka? Hama ushapata Casanova, anayekupatia lishe bora. Kwanza nakumbuka tukianza vile uliniahidi tutapendana forever. Na sasa ni kwa nini ukaniweka chini miaka zaidi ya 2 sasa unaenda? Sina, ni kama tena umejui jina. Haukujikinga, nasikia tena ushapewa mimba.
Na sio siri tena, sio siri,
Sio nikiweza, sio siri tena,
sio siri.
siweza nikuweza, sio siri tena, sio siri, sio nikiweza, siri tena, sio siri. Mwanzo tulikuwa kwa ghorofa, mapenzi yetu ikaporomoka, baadaye ukaja ukanichoma, usikujua jua kali nyota, na ukweli sasa inaonekana.
Happy Wednesday. Okay, I'm sorry. Happy Wednesday. Outstrip your yesterday by today. Do your work with more force than ever before. Happy Wednesday. Outstrip your yesterday by today. Do your work with more force than ever before.
Nilimpea kila kitu, nikampenda kila siku, sheri akageuka mdanganyifu, maswali zangu hawezi jibu, yaye nikipiga sina, ni kama tena hamnijui jina, no. Na haukujikinga, nasikia tena ushapewa mimba, siri tena, sio siri, sio nikiweza, sio siri tena,
Sio siri,
siweza nikuweza,
nasema siri tena, sio siri,
sio nikiweza, sio siri tena,
sio siri.
siweza nikuweza. Hali niko sikutaki mabaya, haya yameshafanyika mama, umeshanizika mama,
Yes, welcome back to the Africa. Yes, so welcome back to the African Diary Show with me, your host Kate Ndongo, or rather Katie in the building. Get to interact with me and let me know how is it on your side or what's up with you. But anyway, as we're getting started with our show for today, I want us to analyze something that happened. It happened during Maandamano Monday. If you all remember Maandamano Monday, we told you we're gonna be calling it Maandamano Monday. It was the 20th of March where we had Kenyans going outside demonstrating and telling the government we are tired. But there was also something crazy that happened during that day. We saw Ruto, that is the president of Kenya, the deputy president of Kenya, and also the advisor, or rather Mudavadi, getting Kenyan shillings, 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy new cars. Yes, I want us to analyze about that money and also the expenditure of that money, because you can't tell me 3 people are getting 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy new cars. Okay, what do we owe these people that we need to buy them new cars? What do we owe them that we need to buy them new cars? They were the ones who decided that they want to work for the government or to work for us. Why do we have to buy cars for them? That is not even my issue. My issue is why are they getting such a huge amount, a stash of money? Why? But that is one of the things that we shall be talking about. Also, we shall be going to Uganda. Uganda will be our main focus of the day, where we shall be looking on what matters are matters of gayism, or rather homosexuality, because I've seen that right now we have a new anti-gay bill that has been passed in parliament, or by the government of Uganda. And later on we shall go to Chad and see what is happening in Chad, and it is also about 400 rebels being arrested after the leader was was murdered, or rather died. And later on we shall carry on with our show and also get to look at different countries and also see what's popping with the other African countries as we continue with our show for today. But back to the main story of the day. It is about the Ugandan new anti-gay bill, and I don't want us to start focusing on it right now. I just want you to start giving me your thoughts right now, because that will be our main focus of the day, and we must talk about it deeply. So make sure you give me your thoughts about the same. Make sure you tell me, have you seen the new anti-gay bill? And also do let me know, what do you feel about the new anti-gay bill in Uganda? But now, as we're getting started, let's start off with this story coming from Kenya, and it is about three top leaders of the country receiving 802 million Kenyan shillings. Yes, this money was deposited to their banks, or to their M-Pesas, that they received 802 million Kenyan shillings. One, it was during that same day we had a press, or we had a briefing with the deputy president of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua. He came out and said that for a few hours during the demonstration, or for a few hours prior, or after the demonstration started, the country has already lost 2 billion Kenyan shillings. Yet, the next minute, we are hearing that they are receiving 802 million Kenyan shillings. Yes? Also, do let me know, does that even make sense to you? Your deputy president is coming to complain to you how the economy is in standstill, or how you have brought the economy to a standstill, and yet the next hour he gets to receive 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy new cars. One of my questions is, what do we owe these people that we need to buy them cars? Did we put them in power by force? No. These are people who are eligible of buying themselves new cars. Why is it that is the nation that needs to buy them new cars? And the funniest thing is that they were not buying one car each. The funniest thing is that they were buying 3 cars each. These are 3 people getting 3 cars each out, and the money is out of the common mwananchi's pockets. Yes. And during that same day is where we're seeing the common mwananchi going to the streets, demonstrating about the cost of living, demonstrating about the inflation rate in the country. But we have now the deputy president coming to tell us that, during those few hours you have started your demonstrations, we have already lost 2 billion Kenyan shillings as a nation. And then the next hour, they get to receive 802 million Kenyan shillings just to buy cars. Okay, let's resonate as big people. They got this money. There's nothing we can do about that. Yes, they got this money. There's nothing we can do about that. Maybe the money is already used. There's nothing we can do about this, because if even we were not told, if even it was not brought to the yet our own country is encountering inflation. We had people demonstrating about it. We had people going to the streets, taking it to the streets and saying that the cost of living is very high, of which is true. The cost of living is very high. Yet we have our own leaders taking now the government's revenue or the country's revenue and going to buy cars instead of bringing it back to the economy and trying to push the economy, or rather try to uplift the economy. Yet they are the ones still coming here to complain to us that we have lost. Within those few hours of demonstrations, we have already lost 2 billion Kenyan shillings. Man, does this make sense to you all? For me, it doesn't make sense. But I told you, we're going to resonate like big people, because this money is already gone. What shall we do? Nothing. Yes, there's nothing we can do about that. It is already gone. They have taken it. I bet the only thing we can do is find somebody who is going to file a petition about these people getting money to buy cars, because they can buy themselves the new cars every day. If Ruto decides to get himself a new Lamborghini today, he will. If he decides to get himself a limousine, he will. Just today. This guy can buy like 10 cars in a week using his own money. But why is he misusing the public funds? Because these are the public funds. This is the money coming out of our pockets. Let's not even talk about taxation. We have seen how taxation has gone high, how Kenyans are being taxed high. We have seen even those people with the properties complaining about how taxation has become high. Let's even not talk about tariffs to those people who import their goods. Yet we have now we're generating that revenue for Ruto, Gachagua, and Mudavadi. Yes, this is what we are doing. We're making money for them. Because what is this? What is this? We are here. We as a country, actually, we are outside demonstrating about the cost of living. We here, the deputy president, come to brief us about how we have brought the economy to a standstill, and we have already lost 2 billion as a nation. Then the next thing we hear is that Rigathi Gachagua, William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, and Mudavadi have received 802 million Kenyan shillings just to buy cars. Yes, and not one car each, 3 cars each. Those are 9 cars, okay? Let's just do simple mathematics. Okay, let's just do simple mathematics, right? So, how much is 1 car? Let's assume they bought expensive cars, right? Okay. Assuming one car cost 50 million Kenyan shillings, let's just assume. We're just assuming one car costs 50 million Kenyan shillings. And that is on the higher side. Of course, that is on the higher side because I'd even wonder which car cost 50 million Kenyan shillings right here in the 254. And also, I'd love to see which car they got themselves that costs 50 million Kenyan shillings. But don't forget, we are assuming. Yes, we're just assuming. This is not factual. We're just assuming. We're just doing simple calculations and see where did this 802 million Kenyan shillings go because they received this money. So I was telling you, let's just assume one car cost 50 million Kenyan shillings, right? And that is on the higher side. And each person needs 4 cars, not even 3. They need 4 cars, okay? So how much is 4 times 50? That is 200 million Kenyan shillings, right? And for the 3 of them, it should be 3 times 200 million, right? How much is that? That is 600 million Kenyan shillings, okay? How much did they get again? They got 802 million Kenyan shillings. So where is the 202 million Kenyan shillings? Where is it? Where has it gone? Where is it? And do remember, we were just assuming because I'd love to see what car they bought that cost more than 50 million Kenyan shillings each. This is the day we have the citizens outside demonstrating about the high cost of living. Yet they are there now. We had even Rigathi Gachagua was briefing the nation when he was in Mombasa, just enjoying life to the fullest. The balance, we have remained with the 202 million Kenyan shillings. Where did it go? That is my question. Where is that money? And when we talk about corruption, it is real. 202 million Kenyan shillings is what we call corruption. Because you guys, you can't tell me, even if it's what type of a car, you guys, what car did they buy? And imagine we are funding them to get 4 cars each, and they are not even worth 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 20 million. We just assumed they were 50 million, and of which there is no car that costs that much in Africa, that can be driven in Africa, or that can be driven in Africa. There is none. We don't have roads to drive such expensive cars here, for real. So I'm wondering, what car did they buy? That is my first question. I'd love to see the car they bought that is worth 50 million and above, because this is what they got. Man, if we talk about corruption, and also if we talk about now Kenya being a company, we have seen the real shareholders of the country. We have seen them. We have Ruto, we have Rigathi Gachagua, we have Mudavadi. Because you won't tell me that I am a citizen, I am the one generating that revenue for you, then you get 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy cars, and I'm on the streets complaining about the high cost of living. What type of government is this? What type of government is this? Man, I think now if it is a coup, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, I think what will save Kenya now is a coup, but not. I think. Hey, I'd love even the military to take over. Yes, but you know what? Ruto is the commander-in-chief. The president of Kenya is the commander-in-chief. So how even do we expect that one day military will overturn the government? No, it is upon now we the citizens. It is upon us. And I think it makes sense when Raila said that every Monday should be a Mandamano Monday, because now it makes sense. It literally makes sense to me, because you won't tell me I'm outside demonstrating about the cost of living, then you're in Mombasa somewhere enjoying life, and the other person is somewhere, I don't know if he was in the State House or wherever he was, thinking of how you're going to get yourself new cars with my money, with the money of the citizens, and yet the citizens are there outside demonstrating, telling you how the life is very tough for them. Yet you don't even care about the little they have. You just care about them yourself. These people are just psychopaths. They are psychopaths. And now if we talk about people who think self-centered people, I think these people are just self-centered. They are self-centered and psychopaths. Man, this is very sad. That story got me sad and angry. And I feel like now, if it is Mandamano Monday that is going to save us from all this nonsense, we have to do it. We have to come together and do it, because what the F? What is happening? Where is Kenya heading as a country? If we continue like this, if we continue now funding those 3 people getting new cars every day, what will happen to the economy of the country? We're talking about inflation rates right now. What will happen to the country? Huh? Right now, we are at 25% inflation rates, right? But what is going to happen next? If our money can't be used properly, and that is the little we have, we are very oppressed. Getting a bag of, or a sack of, not even a sack, a bag, a 2 kgs of ugali flour at $2.5. What do you mean? Where is the country heading? It was yesterday Joby giving an example of how we used to go to shop with the $1, with the $10, and you could come back with a bag full of shopping. But right now, you go to the supermarket, you take one 2 kg flour of ugali, then you take maybe 2 kg flour of wheat flour. That is $5 already. Yes, you don't have the cooking oil, you don't have even stew for the maybe ugali, right? You don't have cooking gas, okay? You don't have even salt, but $5 is already gone. Maybe, okay, let's say right now cooking oil is very expensive, by the way. Maybe you get a liter. Just a liter is at $2.2, right? We have remained with 380 shillings. 380 shillings, that is $3.8. Okay? But do remember, this money is not actually the money I'm giving you. That is not the actual rates in dollars, because our currency right now, we're getting 1 Kenyan shillings for 125 or 120 US dollars. So that is not even the actual exchange rate. So by the time you're getting 2 bags of maybe a bag of ugali flour, 1 bag of wheat flour, and 1 liter of cooking oil, your money is super gone. Yes, you don't have stew, you don't have cooking gas, you don't have salt, and other things that you'd need when you're cooking a meal. But all the government is thinking about is buying new cars for themselves. New cars, not even new car, a new car, new cars. Man, this is insane. It is insanely crazy. But these people need to go. They need to go, because why are we sitting here and tolerating this type of madness? Even if it's dictatorship, this one is super tough and hard. And I feel like as a Kenyan, I'm super tired. And we need to get tired enough. All of us. Yes. And now, go to the streets. On Monday, go back to those streets. Say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Man, you can't be acting like this while people are dying. People are dying in Turkana. People are dying actually even in Kajiado. Livestock are dying. But we have people who are full of themselves buying cars every day. Man, these people need to go. They need to go. They need to go. And we need to push them away. Because if we don't, they will finish us. They will finish the whole country. Yes. And we will corrupt just like other countries. We've seen so many countries corrupting. We saw even in Ghana. And you remember Ghana was doing very well. Look at Ghana right now. You remember there was a time Ghana was being called the star of Africa because it was doing super amazing. Its economy was doing super well. But look at it right now. Let's blame it on the bad governance or a poor governance. But let's get away from that story, because it is if we dwell on it, it makes me angrier. Like, I'm getting angrier. But as we continue with more news and updates, let's get to Chad. I told you we shall be going also to Chad and see what is happening. And I've seen that Chad's government have jailed over 400 rebels for life after ruler's death. And more than 400 rebels in Chad were handed life sentences on Tuesday following the death of former rulers Idris Deby Itno, who was killed in 2021, a public prosecutor said. And after a mass trial, they were sentenced for acts of terrorism, mercenarism, recruitment of child soldiers, and assaulting the head of Said Mahamat Abba, a prosecutor for the capital, Jamena. And he did not give a detailed figure for those jailed, saying only that more than 400 were sentenced to life, while 24 other defendants were acquitted. And the trial opened last month behind closed doors at Klesom prison, 20 kilometers southeast of capital. And in early 2021, the country's main rebel group, the Front for Change and Concord in Chad, launched an offensive on the north of the country from bases in Libya. And on April 20th, the army announced that Marshal Deby, Chad's iron-fisted ruler for the previous 3 decades, had died from wounds sustained in fighting. And Deby died just after being declared the winner of presidential election that gave him his 6th term. And his death was announced just a day after he had been declared a victor of a presidential election that gave him a 6th term in office, and he was immediately succeeded by one of his sons, General Mahamat Idris Deby, who took the helm at the head of a 15-member military junta. But what is happening in Chad, I guess, is the same. We saw even Chad went in a coup for a coup or to a coup sometime back, and now we had their president killed, and now they are blaming the 400 people who have been arrested and also get granted a life imprisonment. But I think also in Kenya we need the same thing. Me, I feel like In Kenya, we need where we have now people who are shaking the government real well. Because right now, these people are fearless. They don't fear us. They have shown us clearly, we are not afraid of you. You can do whatever you want, but we are not afraid of you. If they have the audacity of taking 802 and 2 million Kenyan shillings from the banks of the country and buying themselves car, what are these people not eligible of doing? I think we need even militants. I think even not even militants. We need people to shake this government. They just feel entitled. They are feeling entitled over us, and of which we should not allow that. We are the government. We should be the government. Yes, we should be the government. We should be actually passing these bills. We should be we should be asked, what do you think about this? Do you think that it is right for me to take this 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy myself a car? Yes, we need to be asked as the Kenyan citizens, but what are we seeing? It is a dictatorship government where they do their own things. You just hear as a common mwananchi that this has been passed, the president has taken this amount of money, and yes, it is gone. But you let me know what you think about the matter, and also do let me know that what do you think? What you think about the main focus of the day? I asked you about the Ugandan anti-gay bill that was passed by the Ugandan government. Do let me know what you think about the matter as we continue with our show for today, and also as we get to hear more news and updates coming from other African countries and also Africa at large. And going back also to other matters from other different countries, we shall head straight to Nigeria. And I have seen that now Nigeria's opposition has decided to file petitions to overturn election results. And I think it's getting serious with Nigeria and the election issue. But what I know is that there's nothing that will change. If Tinubu was the president that was the puppet put there by the Europeans, he is the president. There's nothing that you will do to change that. But if now the Nigerians wake up and say we don't want him, we can decide. They can decide for themselves and say enough is enough. This is not our person. We don't want him, and we shall go and take him out of that seat. Yes, because this is what we need to do as African countries. And I feel like now we like, okay, we agree on matters very quick. It was during our election last year on August, right? It was on 9th August. We saw the elections were held. And then a few days later, we had the oppositional leader coming saying that the elections were not free and fair. Actually, we had so many fracas during the announcement of the presidential ruler or the person who was going to be the new the president-elect of the country. And then we had now the opposition going to the court and filing a petition to overturn the results. But what did we see? They came with the whole lorry of evidences, but the court considered the evidences invalid because Ruto was the puppet put there. We remember the CIA had announced days even before the election that that Ruto will be the president of Kenya. So he is the puppet put there. So even if Raila did whatever he did, and even if he tried to push harder, and say that we are not going to allow Ruto to be our president, there wasn't anything that he could do to refuse Ruto to become the president of the nation, because we had seen that he was appointed actually by the CIA. He was put in power. We didn't elect him, but he was put in power. But I feel like now in Nigeria, the same is happening, and we shall see what is going to happen, because I feel like now the same is happening, and the opposition, or not even the opposition, so many people that were vying for the president's seat came out and said that the election was not free and fair. And for a fact is that we know we can only have one winner, right? We knew that we can only have one winner. And these people who are coming here to say the elections were not free and fair, they know, actually they are very sure that it is not all of them who could be the president of the country, but they knew that now this election was not free and fair because I targeted to get these votes. Most of the candidates who get to vie for such seats, they are actually there to make sure that they destroy even the number of votes. Yes, to make sure that if for example, I know the election of Kenya, for you to become a president you must have hit 50 plus 1% votes, or of total population of the country. So when we have so many contestants, they are there to make sure now that we don't attain the 50 plus 1%. And they are sure that I am not going to be the president of the country, but at least I have achieved my goal. But at the end of the day, these people we are hearing, all of them are complaining about that. So it means that the election was not free and fair. The election was not done with any diligence. Like, it was not free and fair. This is what we can say. But who is the president of the Europeans? He is elected. He is already put in power, and we're going to see how it goes with the Nigerians, or for Nigeria. And I'm saying that Nigeria's opposition president candidate Peter Obi, who became that in last month's election, has filed a formal petition in court seeking to overturn the ballot won by the ruling party candidate. And the petition dated Monday is likely the first stage in a long legal battle over February 25th election, as has happened with past presidential races in Africa's most populous nation. And the Labour's Party's Obi was a surprise that candidate whose appeal to younger voters allowed him to challenge the dominance of ruling All Progressive Congress and the main opposition People's Democratic Party. And former Lagos governor and APC stalwart Bola Tinubu won the election with around 37% of votes. 37% of votes. What do you mean? He won the election with 37% of votes. Does it even make sense to you? But anyway, I told you, we had so many contestants in that election. This is the work of the so many contestants. They all know that they are not going to be the president, but this is my work, to destroy these votes so that we don't get the 50 plus 1%. And former Lagos governor and APC stalwart Bola Tinubu won the election with around 37% of votes, but opposition parties say delays in electronic uploading of results aided massive ballot rigging. And this is very true. Why did they take so long to update even on the internet? And in the petition filed in Abuja appeals court, Obi alleges appeals court Obi alleges that the Independent National Electoral Commission, or INC, INEC, broke electoral law, and INEC has denied any illegal activity, though acknowledged technical problems. Among other claims, the petition says Tinubu was not qualified to be a candidate because of 1990s drug-related forfeiture of nearly $500,000 from one of his accounts in a U.S. bank. Tinubu denies any wrongdoing. And also, Nigeria's ruling APC won most of the states in local elections, but on the back of a low turnout. The election was invalid by reason of corruption practices and non-compliance with the provisions of Electoral Act, the petition says. It claims that based on the valid votes cast, Obi won the largest number and ought to be declared and returned the winner of the presidential election. Yes, and that the main opposition president candidate or a presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, has also said he will challenge the results, calling the election a rape of democracy. And it is actually a rape of democracy. But this is not the first time we are experiencing a rape of democracy. Rape of democracy has been there not even several times. Even today, every day, it is practiced. They are raping the democracy everywhere. But we can't even call that rape of democracy. You know what we can call this? Not democracy. Let's just assume we don't have democracy because it's not there. We don't practice democracy, and let's not even associate this with any democratic act, because we have never, and I don't think we will ever be democratic as we call them ourselves. But analysts expect those legal challenges to end up the country's Supreme Court, as they did after the 2019 election. And President Muhammad Buhari steps down in May after 2 terms, leaving Nigeria grappling with a widespread insecurity, economic wars, and growing poverty. Yes, looks like Tinubu has a lot of work to do, but at the end of the day, was he the president of the people? At the end of the day, what is he going to do for the nation? Because we already know he is a puppet, he is put there, and all we can say is that we're just waiting for him to continue with the puppetism, because this is what they have been doing. We saw the former president Muhammad Buhari. What did he do for his nation? Muhammad Buhari, we have even heard that he left his countries in the wars of insecurity, surging insecurity, people being abducted every day, even during the day of election. People were very afraid, and that is why the turnout was very low. One, they had economic issues, they had wars with insecurity. Also, we had growing poverty. So you can't even tell me that this person is going to change anything that Buhari has left the country in. No, he's not going to do the same. He's not going to do exactly what the people want him to do. But if he was the president of the people, we definitely knew, or we know that he has a lot of work to do, or he had a lot of work to do. But just because he is a puppet, he is not going to do any of those. He probably might be taking 802 million Kenyan shillings also, or naira, to go and buy himself new cars every day. You never know what he's going to do. But I see him in the building. You're saying, yes, Katie, those elections in Nigeria was stolen, and that is why they tried to bring in the Rothschild digital currency. Exactly. This is why they started even with those fracas over there's no money in the country, there's no money in circulation, and it's just crazy. He is a puppet, and there's nothing that is going to change. Any problem that was left with by Buhari is still going to remain in that country, because he's a puppet. He's not going to help the government in any way. He is not going to help the government or the country in any way. Just like we're seeing Ruto. Ruto is actually worsening the situation in this country every day. I feel so angry with that man. Oh my God. I feel so much angry with that man. Every day, we hear something new. Imagine when the people were busy demonstrating outside, they were busy planning on how to get themselves new cars. From our money from our taxes. Imagine. That's crazy. But I say, kid, you're saying he is a puppet and he'll do what he's told to do. Exactly. He will do what he is told to do because he's a puppet, and also he is the president of the Europeans, not the president of the Nigerians, and this is exactly what will happen. But it is crazy. Me, I even wonder, is now, does the European, or are the Europeans the ones telling Ruto to what to do? Because you can tell me they told him to get 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy themselves a new cars. Man, it doesn't add up at all, at all, at all. But do let me know what you think about the matter. But the situations in African countries are worsening every day. If I get a chance to leave Africa, I'll leave for real. We always advocate and also advise you to come to Africa, but not at this time. Yes, not at this time. It is not at this time, I'm telling you, to come back to Africa. Africa is drowning, especially some African countries. Yes, most of the African countries are drowning. But do let me know what you think about the matter, and also do let me know what you think about now even the president of Kenya getting him and his deputy and also his advisor new cars for them. But as we get closer to winding up, let's get to the main focus of the day. Yes, kid, you'll have to rewatch the show, the start of the show. I did an analysis about what was happening with the people were outside demonstrating, and the government, or the president and his deputy and also their advisor was somewhere plotting on how to get themselves a new cars, and they got 802 million Kenyan shillings. And I did simple mathematics, and that is what we call corruption. We call corruption. Not even one car, kid. Not even two cars. Not even three cars. They got themselves over 3 cars. Yes. And with our tax money. With our tax money. Man, Africa is just... I don't know. Africa is dying. But anyway, as we get closer to winding up, let's get to the main focus of the day. Let's get to the main focus of the day, and it is about Uganda. And we have seen that Uganda is actually has actually passed an anti-gay bill, and you will face imprisonment if you go against it. But let's get to see what is the anti-gay bill all about. And Uganda's parliament on Tuesday, that was yesterday, passed a sweeping anti-gay legislation which proposes tough new penalties for same-sex relationship following a highly charged and chaotic session. The A's have it, Parliamentary Speaker Annette Anita Amang said after a final vote, adding that the bill passed in record time. Uganda's parliament was due to vote Tuesday on anti-gay legislation, which proposes tough new penalties for same-sex relations in a country where homosexuality is already illegal. And under the proposed law, anyone in the conservative East African nation who engages in same-sex activity or who identifies publicly as LGBTQ could face up to 10 years in prison. And I'm very happy about that. Yes, I'm very happy about this. And the anti-homosexuality bill is ready and will be tabled or put before Parliament for vote this afternoon, said Robina Rakojo, a chair of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, which has been studying the legislation. And the legislation enjoys broad public support in Uganda, and reaction from civil society has been muted following years of erosion of civic space under President Yoweri Museveni, increasing authoritarian rule. And nevertheless, Museveni has consistently signaled he does not view the issue as a priority and would prefer to maintain good relations with the Western donors and investors. Yes, that's it. Uganda has passed a new bill, and you could face up to 10 years imprisonment if you have been found practicing any homosexual act, or rather identifying yourself as a gay or a lesbian or any homosexuality, or them, those ones. But anyway, I feel like this is a good move for Uganda, and all African countries should be doing the same. Yesterday, we were talking about Namibia, and we saw them also returning or taking back citizenship of a gay child, or rather a child that was born, or a child owned by a gay couple in Namibia. And that was also a good gesture. And I feel like now, when we talk about LGBTQ in African countries, I think right now we are passing the test for African countries. At least we're passing the test. We're seeing so many African countries coming and fighting homosexuality in the country and in their countries. And I feel like now this is a good move, rather than the corruption issues, the economic wars, and corruption, and also insecurity. I feel like now homosexuality, or rather LGBTQ issues, will not be a burden to us, because most of us have come out and say we don't support this, we don't want this to be practiced in our African countries. So it is a good thing. But I see Kid you saying, if you leave Africa, Katie, who will fix it? Kid, me, I feel like I'm super tired with these countries. For instance, let's talk about Kenya, man. But anyway, we will have to be patient and fix our countries before they even get worse or worse. But I feel like so many people are also getting tired. So many people are getting tired with these nations, because if we have the youths, most of them are unemployed. They are always sitting with their degrees at home, and we saw even they were the majority during the Monday demonstrations. But during even that demonstration, we also saw the deputy president briefing us, telling us that we have already lost 2 billion Kenyans as a nation. And the next thing we saw is that now they took 802 million Kenyan shillings to buy themselves new cars. Where do you think we are heading as a nation? Where do you think that we are heading as a nation? People are outside demonstrating about the cost of living, yet these leaders are seated somewhere plotting on how to get themselves new cars. They have taken already the money is gone. They have taken it. I don't know. I'd love to know what cars they bought, because I'd love to know what car costs even more than 50 million Kenyan shillings. I'd love to know. But anyway, I see Kid, you're saying, if you suck another man penis, you're going to jail in Uganda. Good job, Uganda. You don't eat the poop well. Yes, good job to Uganda. I can say bravo to them. And I see Kid, you're saying, of course they are getting tired, but you go when no other country wants African people. You mean we go where no other country wants African people? Yes. I guess we will have to force them to like us, because at the end of the day, we will have to survive. But anyway, we have to fight for what is rightful ours, and we have to fight these Europeanized people. We have to put them in their place. We have to tell them, if you're not going to work with this, go to the Europeans that you copy so much. Go to the Europeans that you worship so much. But I say, Kid, you're saying you will face hatred in the Arab world and the European world. I know, Kid. I know very much. I know that. And I know I don't know what to say about that, but I feel like now what we need to do is, Africans, we don't need to leave Africa, but we need to chase away the Africans that are so Europeanized. We tell them, if you feel like you love these people too much, go stay with them, go live with them, because you just worship them like your gods. Go live with them. But I see you saying you will, okay, just ask Africans in a white Arab country, Tunisia. Yes, I know they go through a lot. They go through so much hatred. They experience so many bad experiences. I know that, but I don't know. I don't know. Africa is pushing us away from our countries. And also, Kid, you're saying white Arab African country. Yes, I know about that. I know about that. But anyway, I hope African countries we get to wake up and so now see what is happening and tell these people who are so Europeanized, you need to go and live with your European advisors or Europeans people, your European gods. But anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you, Keith, for joining us. To the silent listeners, asanteni sana pia for joining us. And don't forget that my birthday is in the next 6 days. I had even forgotten about my birthday, but here I am. Yes, it is in the next 6 days. Yes. We're going to celebrate me regardless. But anyway, asanteni sana for having to join me. For having taken your time and join me in the African Diary Show. I think if you're saying you have to fix Africa for your children, Katie. Yes, I will try where I can. You were the one who told me that some battles are not worth fighting, but I will try where I can. But for now, I'm going to leave you, family, with this jam we started off the show with. This is What and a Willie, and the jam is CEO Siri. I hope you did get to enjoy our show, but don't forget to join us on the next episode of the Rhythm Scoop Show. Get to enjoy the rest part of your day, and also see you tomorrow, same time, same place. But don't forget to join us on the next episode of the Rhythm Scope Show. Okay, kid, let's just call it 6 days. Why do you want to lengthen my birthday? But anyway, yes, my birthday is next week on Wednesday. I see George Guy in the building. You're saying, Katie, you need more Jamaicans in Africa. Yes, you guys come to Africa and try to fight. We try to fight these people together, because for me, they are draining our energy. They need to go to their European advisors or to their European gods. And Jiba Jaba, you're saying, man, I'm late. I'll catch the replay. Take care. Thank you very much, Jiba Jaba. Yes, please make sure you catch up with the replay. Also to the silent listeners, I don't know why you are not talking, but asanteni sana for taking your time and joining me. Mwanzo tulikuwa kwa ghorofa, mapenzi yetu ikaporomoka, baadaye ukanichoma, usikujua jua kali nyota, na ukweli sasa inaonekana niliyempenda
na pia ameshanikana. Nilimpea kila kitu, nikampenda kila siku. Sheri akageuka mdanganyifu, maswali zangu hawezi jibu. Yani
Nasema sio